Hey everybody, Steven here, and for today's video we're going to be looking at just some of the updates and some of the stuff that they've added to Subnautica Below Zero. Now I don't know if this is with the main update that they were supposed to do, I believe today according to their Favreau site, but I've just noticed that they've changed a bunch of stuff, and I'm in the experimental build also, but they've just been trickling things out on that. So we're actually going to go through free cam and we're just going to explore. One of the main things is actually an area I'm at right now, and we'll go ahead and go into free cam here. If I can get that, there we go. Now this was blank, so they've added all the different plants and the biome, and then the squid shark here that you can see, and he just ate a fish there. So you can see him down here now, but it's insane to see the difference between what it used to look like, which was just, matter of fact, they didn't even have the same shape. They've actually changed the shape of the room. It was just a massive hole, and it actually was constructed different than this. So they came in and changed the shape of the room itself, and then add a bunch of new cool plants and a little vine things that you can see here. Lowest point is over here, but there's nothing down here right now. In terms of like I'm specifically coming here for something. I don't know if you're gonna use something to do with these at some point or what it may be, but that guy is pretty cool. And if we float through here, and I'm going to change the time of day again. If we float through here, let's go ahead and start with the island with the rocket on it over here. As long as this stuff will load in for me. One of the biggest additions that I've seen just over here is there's actually a dock. Now, and it has a platform. I don't know if they're going to put the rocket here just based off feedback, or if they're going to still leave it up here, which you see right there. It kind of seems like that's going to be a spot where you're going to launch something off. Or maybe they have supplies or something like that. After that though, we'll go back over here. And they've added just a bunch of little nooks on the outsides over here now, where this was all blank. So now we actually have some areas around the island that you can kind of explore. Not much going on with it right now, but it's better than what it was, which was just flat and they didn't really have anything going on. Now, going over to the hover pad area over here, couple things. They've indented some of the areas over here. I don't know if they're gonna use it or not, but they've been adding a ton more textures to this area where it was just blank. Now they've actually added on the kind of like the ice texture on top of all of this, and the snow texture, so it looks a lot better. So mostly it was just this blank white area. Now they've slowly been adding things, and you can tell it looks really good. It's starting to shape up into something. They still have this here. I don't know if they're going to tweak that. I'm assuming something goes up here too, because we're looking, it looks like it's kind of constructed as a room. So I don't know if they leave it as the cave, and then, because we have blank spots here, so this just kind of lets me know that, alright, they're going to make this into something. And they'll mold it just like they have with everything else, but curious to see how that evolves. And then you can kind of see the path to get there. This is still open. If I had to guess, I'm assuming this is where a battle with an ice worm would happen, just because of how open the spacing is here. And they're slowly carving all of this out as well, so that you can get all the way over here, as you can see. Right, so they have that path there. Still doing tweaks to all that stuff. That's where you come up, so you go up and under over there. Easy path to get there, if you're not doing free cam or using cheats or anything like that. Other thing, we'll go over here. I mean, everything I've seen shows that this is kind of the end point that you'll get to, and this is where you'll finish the game here. But the outside of this, where it was a block, they've added a bunch of angles, so they've kind of molded this into something else. This wasn't here before. They changed the front just a little bit on it. Everything else in the side is the same as far as I can tell. That's just weird stuff that I built to get up there. So not seeing anything else over here necessarily. Going down though, what I have noticed, we come over here, because this is a pathway that you can go, right? You navigate through there, you come up here, we can move around, and it's through here, right? So I'm assuming they're going to change that. It's through here. This is going to be the pathway that you use to get back here to the start. Where this was a closed room before, right? They've actually changed that now so it opens up. But you can't jump that high. So that'll be the pathway, I'm assuming, that you use in order to get back to the end, right? So that'll be the last pathway we're taking to kind of finish the game. And you can see that over here, the different pathways. What I have noticed also though is they've kind of blocked this out. Usually when I see these indentions like this, it means they're about to completely change something there, right? You can go down, and this really just leads us out. And then we pop out over here. They've also been tweaking the outside of this so it didn't look just completely flat as well. So that's looking better. I mean, you can kind of see as it goes down what it used to look like, and actually right here was just a flat wall. They'll be tweaking that. They kind of did it right there just so you would see, but this is what it normally would look like. So they've updated that. That looks really, really good. Coming back over here, there's a hidden base underneath all of this right over here, and with this, it's actually where it cues the dialogue between the main character and somebody else, and you actually end up finding an orange tablet. This used to all be brown and blank. So they came in here and they added all the textures. This was just floating here. Matter of fact, it wasn't even there, I believe. I believe it was somewhere else. It didn't look like this at all. So they've added this. It looks way better. You can go down a little bit further. They haven't changed, and all this is, it was the same. It was just brown. Nothing going on with it. They have this area where it looks like they're going to put a room. There actually was a precursor room right there that was blank, and then they took it out. I don't know if they did that so they can do the modeling with it, and then they'll put it back, whatever it may be. But that's down there, and just adding all the little spots that you can kind of go through and all of that here. It's looking better and better for sure. So basically it all used to kind of look like this, and now it has that ice around it. Going back up, if we go over to the, I think it's the lily pad area. I really need to remember the names with all the spots. That's going to take a minute. Let's see here. Oh, it's way off. I have also noticed with the tops of these that they've changed it. And with that, let's see if I can find the area. They've actually put stuff on top of some of them. Alright, so we're getting to the lily pad area. So they've added all this. Where is it? Might be over here. Might not be. They also changed the outside of this. Same thing, just adding the texture to it. Or is it this right here? No, that's the main one. Where did it go? Is this it? No. I know on one of these, there's like a supply drop thing, which just lets me know that they're going to be using these, which makes it cooler than just a flat thing or there's nothing on there. That little touch is very, very cool. And now I can't find it. Ah, dang it. What do we got there? Got some stuff. Oh, is that a creature? That is a creature trying to swim that can't swim. Or that's trying to walk on the surface there. What is it doing? I guess it's back in the water now. Let's change it back to day. So lily pad area though, big thing over here. They have the base on a little island here. This was here, and then the base was offset, and it seems like they added this, so they at least placed it on top of it. They've added the lily pads, added a lot of the different fauna here. Put more of the trees in. Some of these were free floating, they weren't on anything, so they've actually added in the rocks that they're attached to now. Looks like the texture quality is changed as well. There's one of them. Little supply cache area. So they've added that. Going down though, it's all the same, minus the jelly area that they finally, jelly shroom area that they finally put all of them in. They still are going to obviously add a bunch of stuff in here, but they finished putting all these in. There was just one pair or one set, sorry, in there prior to this. So they've added that. We'll just dive through all of this. So let's see here. This area over here, I mean, nothing's changed in it. So they haven't added anything new to this other than the fact that it wasn't here a month or so ago, at least in the normal build of the game too, before going to the experimental build. You got a box room here that they're going to do something with. Some of the textures in some of the areas they've changed, but for the most part haven't done much with that. Another box area over here, I'm assuming they're going to put something really cool, or it'll branch off into something. But I think that's it for right now. I haven't been able to spawn some of the other cool creatures that I'm waiting on, in terms of the Shadow Leviathan and the Ice Dragon, but you can do the Ice Worm right now. They update this over here too. Yeah, it just seems like they've added more of that fauna to certain areas too, so it's looking just more vibrant, more colorful. Be interesting to see on the story side, which I haven't played yet. It'll be interesting to see how that progresses in this next major update, and I'm still curious to see how all of this evolves with each major update, but also with the experimental build as they're adding things almost daily with that. And everybody can opt into that if you haven't already, and then just look up the different videos, and I have one on how to access. Did they change that? Yep, they put it texture in here now too. This used to be blank. But you can look into how to access the command control here. That's cool. So that was already there, but this actually has ice now, where it was just plain, their brown plain texture, kind of like this, right? So that looks really, really cool. But I think that's it. There's probably a lot more I'm missing in this, but just like kind of moving around and seeing what I can see really quick. Here's a little nook too that they didn't have before. So they're adding little tunnels and stuff like that that are awesome to see. But and finally they added more. They had the stacks, but they didn't have really a ton of texture on here. So they've added a more texture onto this, which looks cool. We got our rock punchers over here. Super cool. But that is it, guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Thanks so much for watching.